Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the big match preview. Scott is away tonight, so me and Nicky are going to take over, and we're going to talk about the Carabao Cup second round. Look, we started off well in this competition, mate. We got our first win of the season against Portsmouth, and now we're going down to the South Coast tomorrow night to take on Southampton.
Yeah.
So
Couldn't get any closer, could you, to the last
mate.
opponent?
We need to get back to winning ways, though, mate. Just before we talk about tomorrow, you've done your morning after, you've done post-match pint. You still pissed off about the weekend?
Yeah, I am. I am really pissed. I mean, listen, I'm a West Ham fan, mate, like you. Like, we've been many years. We spent all of our lives going up West Ham together. And listen, it ain't the fucking worst I've ever seen. Don't get me wrong. I've seen some fucking bastard times, but this has got to be nearly there. Am I pissed off? Yes, I'm pissed off. Am I surprised? No, because you could probably see it from a mile off that this was coming. This sort of start with all of the mess that's going on. So I'm just, we just got to sort it out. Why? We just got to sort it out. Otherwise,
Yeah, well, we sort of got to the bottom of the penalty debate today, wasn't it? It was already confirmed that Tatty was the designated penalty taker. So I know we had our say on we should have thought Bowen should have taken it. But listen, if Tatty's been designated, if he's been given the responsibilities to take the penalties, then yeah, fair enough. But look, I know you want to talk a little bit about Bowen at the end of the show, but let's get straight into this game. So Southampton got their first win on Saturday in the league, beat Stoke 3-1. They lost to Watford the week before, and they beat Colchester in the first round of the Carabao Cup. We obviously beat Portsmouth in the first round, drew with Burnley, and as we know, lost to Charlton. So mixed form for both teams. Leading up to this game, mate, what do you think we should do really with the team selection? Do you think that we need to completely change it, or do you think he should stay a little bit strong and just give players that are on who haven't had a chance this season, give them a run out?
I would say if we'd have got that win Saturday, I would have said yes, absolutely. Just give a couple of the. Listen, I don't think the competition's important because I don't think we're going to go far in it. But what I would say is this, right? Is that it's another game against a championship side, right? And if we'd have won that game on Saturday, I'd have turned around and went, yeah, just rotate it and all that. But this is another game at the championship side. We need to start getting used to playing against championship sides. That's the be all and end all of it. And I don't think the first team, who are supposed to be in the first team, I don't know whether they got the desire to fight or the know-how to play against championship teams. So I would say no, don't rotate nothing. I think it should be like a fucking punishment for them to go out there and have to play again on Tuesday, because what I saw on Saturday was a disgrace, and we have to get back into this form. I don't think you should leave anyone out. I think we should be going all out, playing the same team and saying, no, you getting us into this fucking mess. Now you get us out of it. You know what I mean? And get, get a bit of match practice in, get a bit of fitness in. To be honest with you, I was thinking about this the other day. I don't think our pre-season was long enough. You know what I mean? It's usually a bit longer than that. I don't think we had enough games. So, no, don't rotate. Make the players go out there and just turn around and say, look, you want to fucking start having these evenings off, the likes of Jared Bowen, the likes of Tatty, the likes of Mavropanos, the likes of, that sort of player, you start winning the fucking ones that matter. And that's what I would do.
I totally agree, mate. I think that we do need to make some changes just due to the fact that we've got 6 games between now and the international break, and we've got Watford away on Saturday and then Wolves at home next Tuesday. So I would make some changes. There are some players in there that maybe like a Ward-Prowse should start. You've got obviously Mikasa who could start. You've got Engels, I think, should get another few minutes under his belt. Pirro as well, I'd give him a start. We spoke about the goalkeeper situation on post-match pint. I think Areola is due a start.
That's probably the one change I would make, because I would be looking to bring him in. Because when I look back at that goal against Charlton, fuck me, that he was right next to the fucking post.
I mean, there's also shouts for maybe Veltman getting a start and maybe dropping Kilman. I agree. I would go very strong in this, because we see it last season when we beat QPR in the cup in January, how much confidence it gave the team, and we went on a little run. So we need to get a win from somewhere. I agree with you. If we'd have beat Charlton on Saturday, we would have said, yeah, okay, drop a few players. But I think the only player I might drop for tomorrow is probably Tatty. Maybe drop Tatty. I'll keep Bowen in. Pirro up front. Solomon, I'd say, and maybe drop Tatty, and maybe I might start the youngster, Mukasa. Just give him a run in that role. But
he looked good when he came on. No fear.
Yeah,
and
I think it's important that we go strong. Obviously, Ollie Scholes, maybe Mayer's coming for him. I think that there will be a few changes, but I don't want to see too many changes. I don't want to. I agree with what you said earlier. I'm the same, mate. It doesn't bother if we go out of the cup tomorrow, but I want to win. So I want to get a win, and then hopefully that gives us confidence going into the weekend.
No, absolutely. It's I think when you think about the relegation fight, although we didn't win it in the end, right? What was the game that started at least a bit of a revival? It was the QPR game. You know what I mean? Like, cup games are important for momentum, I think. You know what I mean? Like, so it's come quickly, which is good. But yes, there probably has to be a few changes. There has to be a couple, because there's players in there that probably can't do 2 games. Probably you shouldn't be playing Bowen when you think about it, 2 games a week now, coming up to the 30, So,
do you think start strong for the first 45 and then make changes at half time?
I think we need, I do. I don't know. I mean, it depends. As I said before, I don't know how to approach. I wouldn't know how to approach it. If I was a manager, I wouldn't know how to approach it. I know how I would approach it. I know I would go out there and just go, no, maybe crash, but you cunts can play after the way you played on Tuesday, but on Saturday. But in reality, can you afford, because if the likes of Solomon and players like that, it only takes an injury to someone like that, and then we are fucked. You know what I mean? So it's a weird one. It's a weird one, but I do also agree. We've got a big break coming up in the next month. After that Millwall game goes, we've got about a month before we get back to football, like 3 weeks. So, no, let them play. Let them fucking go out there and fucking suffer, the pricks.
I mean, Southampton got a good win at the weekend. They obviously had a bad start of the season with a points deduction. So, even though they've got a win so far, they're still on -1, which shows how poor we've started, that they've started on -4 and they're only 1 win away from going above us. So it's and as you said, they are a sort of rival in the Championship. Is that we know they're a good team. We know what happened with them last season. I mean, to be fair, they ain't got to do much spying on our players at the moment, because they could see on Saturday that we were shit. They wouldn't need binoculars to see that. So look, they would have done their homework on us, and it's going to be a difficult game down at St Mary's. And I expect Southampton to go a little bit strong as well, because they want to keep their momentum up. So it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. And but I think we need a couple of tough games. I think that one on Saturday was really it should be, and if it isn't, then I am worried. It should really be a kick up the bollocks to these players, and to turn around and say, the Championship isn't fucking easy, mate. You need to go out there and you need to fucking do something. You need to work your bollocks off, and it's another chance to test ourselves against Championship opposition. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to win, which I know is a good predict. I don't think we're going to win. I think it's going to go to penalties, but we need to do something. We need to do something.
Yeah, no, 100%, mate. And with what we've got coming up, as I said at the weekend, the next 2 games are massive, because we've got Watford away and Wolves at home. So to get a win tomorrow, I just want to see I want to see Nuno set up. I want to see these players that are on the fringes of getting in the first team, if they get a chance, really take it, because at the moment I think every place is available, because no one's really stood out so far this season, performance-wise.
It's one of them, like I know you mentioned Ward-Prowse earlier, and I know they've just brought Engels in, and Kante's been okay, and Alford's been okay. We didn't have Tatty on Saturday, but Is he back today? Is he
No,
back
we had Tatty. You mean Pablo?
Pablo. Pablo.
Yeah.
Is he back for tomorrow? I don't know.
Do you know what? I haven't seen much of the team news yet, but hopefully, I did see something on social media earlier that he might be available, which would be good because if he can get a run out, and because as much as I've criticised Pablo a lot, you did notice that you did miss him a bit on Saturday because I'm not saying that he's the player that's going to be a game changer for us, but when he's there, he is a sort of nuisance sometimes to our own players.
He's not just a nuisance, right? I know he isn't a very good player, but if you want someone to go in and fucking put some bollocks in, he's going to do it. You know what I mean? So, like, he is just, as you said, he's a fucking nuisance. You know what I mean? And he's, he does give his all, and he will go flying into tackles, and he will, it's fucking, that's weird to say, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? You get to them stages of the season when you think, it's a fucking hell, we could do with this player and that player and whatever. But Ward Prowse, I would give a go. You know what I mean? Like he cannot be any worse. And I think we'll have a nice balance in midfield soon because we've got a lot of youth in there. But you've got to bring a bit of experience. This is his old club back as well. Look, listen, if there's a time for him to come back in this side, because if he isn't going to come back in the side on a regular, what is the fucking point in keeping him here? Honestly, what is the point of keeping him here? Like, if he cannot get into a midfield that he's getting overrun like that now, when is he going to get in? He isn't. You know what I mean? He is an experienced pro. He can take a fucking good set piece, which at times you do need that. And as much as I know, obviously Nuno doesn't fancy him, he will get his foot on the ball and he will start spraying the ball about. So, which is what we're missing at the minute. Like, he's a good passer of the football.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. And as you said, experienced. Yeah, going back to his former club, he'd be well up for it. There's a couple of other players that may be in contention. Players that were featured heavily in pre-season. You've got Golan Bekis at the back and La Madrid as well that maybe could come in midfield. So there are options for Nuno there.
I thought La Madrid had a good pre-season.
Yeah, no, he did, and I thought Golan Bekis looked comfortable as well in the pre-season games I've seen. But look, there's also you've got so many players that are sort of knocking on the door. I mean, Alford was on the bench on Saturday, but when he come on, he looked a lot more comfortable for me than what Kante did. So there could be a start for Alford there, but then is Alford going to be the one who's starting in the league? So you got to be careful how you do it because we don't want to pick up injuries. That's the worst thing at the moment because we have got a very thin squad. So we don't want to pick up injuries. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I'm looking forward to seeing it, seeing how we get on. And I just hope that we can get a win and it'll be a bit of confidence, not only for us as fans, but the players and especially Nuno, because he's under a lot of criticism at the moment, and rightly so.
Yeah, he is. Listen, he ain't going to go after this game, but, if it doesn't get any better in the next two, he's got to seriously be considered. He's got to seriously be considered because we cannot go into past the transfer window. And listen, if he needs more players, he needs more players. If he needs more time, he needs more time. If they want to give him that, all well and good. But, we cannot afford to close the transfer window with a squad this thin with a manager that plays like that. If we cannot get the players that we need to get a manager in that can use the players that we got. And there ain't many, you know what I mean? But there is some fucking good quality there, you know what I mean? And I don't know whether there's a couple of them just fucking throwing their toys out. Obviously, there's a lot of players that are, that have left or not playing for him. You know what I mean? Like the likes of Tadibo and Wan-Bissaka doesn't seem to like him. You know what I mean? And there's quite a few like that, wasn't there? You know what I mean? So if you cannot get rid of them players and cannot get the players in that you want, then the manager's the one that's got to go. We cannot afford to have half a season playing like that and falling so far behind because no matter what we do by December, I see someone said to me earlier on, by December, we cannot, afford to be that far behind because I don't know if this season don't go well, I don't know what next season holds.
No, I mean, and I know we don't want to talk too much about the manager's position at the moment. But when you look at the next fixtures, we've got Southampton tomorrow. Then what? Watford away, Wolves at home, Derby at home, Bolton away, Wrexham at home, Millwall away before the international break. And when we was talking about managers yesterday, when we mentioned the usual suspects that are out of work, it'll be Dyche, Parker. You know, someone was saying Kieran McKenna there. I think Kieran McKenna is actually having a break from football, so for personal reasons. But one name that I forgot to mention, and it's a name that I mentioned a few years ago, someone who is out of work and I think would be a good fit with what we've got is Thomas Frank. So if Thomas Frank, I know he didn't do great at Spurs, but we see what he done at Brentford, and I think he would be a great candidate. But I don't want to go, listen, Nuno is still our manager. So I don't want to sit here and I'm going to get behind Nuno. If he can turn it round, he's got my full support. You know,
well, let's before we wrap up, right? You've seen the reports today about Jared Bowen. What would you do? What would you? I mean, if anyone hasn't heard, Crystal Palace are apparently putting together a £50 million bid for Jared Bowen to get him out before the transfer window. They think it might be tempting him due to the start. Listen, I think it might be, and we discussed a bit of lazy journalism. But if there's any issue, if there's any truth in it, what would you do for £50 million? Bear in mind, right, we get to spend that £50 million. What would you do?
I know he hasn't started the season great, Jared Bowen, but I think even if we get the 50 million to replace someone like Bowen at this stage before the transfer window will be hard. And I think that Bowen is going to play an important part in this season. I know he hasn't started the season great, but most of the players haven't. And for me, as I said, I think it is a bit of lazy journalism. You know, we've started the season bad. Bowen's already committed his future. Bowen's not going to go back on his word, what he said a few weeks ago. And I think if the club did accept it, I think it won't go down well. So for me, I want to keep Jared Bowen. I think he's going to be important for us this season. He just needs to find a bit of form. And I think once he hits the ground running, once he gets a couple of goals, I think we'll see the best out of Jared Bowen. And it'll be the main reason why, if we do go up this season, he'll be one of the main reasons.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I think if that sort of money came in, and it's all depending on whether we're spending it or not and who we're spending it on, I would be tempted because I don't think, we started the season shite. I don't think he's been great, right, for the last year and a bit. You know what I mean? Like, and I hate saying that about Jared because I do love Jared. I love him to bits, like, but there's not going to be many more opportunities to get that type of money for him. You know what I mean? Like, and if we if the worst goes to worst, we're going to lose him come the end of the season for like 10, 15 mil. Listen, I agree with you. I do agree with you. But if we can get 50 million and then drop 40 million on some young, hungry, championship-proven striker, and then get some fucking big bastard defender for it, or winger, or whatever, up top, I think I would take it. I think I would take it. You know what I mean? Like, to get the next big thing. And I know Jared was the next big thing when we go in and got him. You know what I mean? And he turned out fantastic. There is a time limit to everybody, unfortunately. And from what I've seen over the last year, Jared's time is coming towards the end. You know what I mean? Like, he's not as quick as he was at 25. He's not as sharp as he was at 24. You know what I mean? Like, and for £50 million, when you think we spent half of that on him and have had so much of what we've had. And listen, I feel sorry for the lad. I really do. And I'm not saying, look, listen, no one's held a gun to his head, but it does seem like a little bit like he's been held hostage. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like, all of this room, it must be shit because all of these people, Danny Dyer wouldn't let him go. I mean, Danny Dyer got fuck all to do with Jared Bowen. If Jared Bowen wants to go, he would have gone. But if that was the case, and we could drop that 50 million on two, young, hungry, players like Bowen when he was 23, 24, when we bought him, I would be tempted. And it's not going to be many people that want to hear that. But that's my opinion.
I just don't trust our club to get a deal like that done and then go out and sign these replacements is too late in the window, I think. So I just think that Bowen's going to be an important part. Once he gets a goal, once he gets going, I think that we'll see the best of Jared. And look, if we don't go up this season, I think he'll leave this club with all our blessings because he stayed with us when we was in the shit. So let's hope that we can get the best out of Jared and hope that he brings the best out of the rest of the team as well. So, and look, as we said, let's hope that we get a win tomorrow. What's your predictions for tomorrow then? What's your score?
1-1. 1-1.
1-1. And then what? Win on penalties, lose on penalties?
Yeah, I think we win on penalties, ironically.
I'm going to go for a very close, tight 2-1 win. I think we'll go 2-0 up and then we'll make a dodgy fuck up at the back and we'll concede a stupid goal and then it'll be back to the wall and I can just see us getting through 2-1. But it will be a tough game. It will be a tough game. Southampton,
we just need to fucking get a couple of wins. The
thing is, if Southampton don't make many changes, what we've got to remember is they're an established championship team. Yep. They've got championship players there. They've got fighters. They know what this league's about. Last season, they should have gone up. It was their own stupid fault for whatever reasons we know about. They shouldn't have. It was their own fault why they didn't make the playoffs. But this season, they'll be angry at that. They'll be hungry and they'll want to win every single game. So it is going to be a tough game. But I'm just going to go 2-1 West Ham. I'm going to back the boys to get our second win of the season, both in the Carabao Cup. And there's some good fixtures in the Carabao Cup this week. Obviously the non-European Premier League teams come into it.
Yeah.
I think Charlton are playing Tottenham, isn't they? That'd be an interesting game.
Yeah, it would be an interesting game. Yeah.
So I'm
I've had a few texts from our Tottenham mates, and so if they turn them over the weekend, I'll be sending a few back.
I went in work today, and there was a Tottenham fan in there, and I was going to banter him, but I just remembered I'm in the Championship, so I'd rather be in there. Because I said, listen, I'm not going to laugh at it all season. Just when we replace you next year, when we swap leagues, then I'll laugh at you.
Yeah.
Look, anyone in the chat, give us your score predictions and in the comments below, put your predicted 11 who you'd like to see. But yeah, anything else you want to say, mate, before we shoot off?
No, not really.
No, it's not.
Not really.
The only other one I could say is that I see today that we're very close to signing Reece Nelson from Arsenal. For
$3
that'd
be a good signing.
Good potential signing. But I think there's going to be a lot going on in the next few days, especially before the transfer window shuts. But yeah, look, we'll leave that there, mate.
This gone out of the way, man. I'm not looking forward to that drive tomorrow, I must be honest. So
yeah, Southampton's one of them places. You always find on the South Coast, it don't seem far away, but it just takes ages to get there because of the roadworks. And we used to do a few trips to Bournemouth back in the day. We know that route like the back of our hands, like going down there all the time. But yeah, no, it should be a good game. Looking forward to it. But yeah, no, we'll leave it there, mate. All done. Yeah. So listen, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, like the video. OK jerseys. If you want to get your West Ham up-to-date West Ham shirts, 10% off with the code Nicky, as you can see down there. Oh, wrong hand. There, Nicky10. Nicky10 for 10% off. And we'll leave it there. Scott will be back next week.
If you're at the game tomorrow, come see me.
Yeah, if you're there, go and see Nicky for a fan game, fan cam. Dan will be here with the watch along tomorrow night. And yeah, so let's hope that everyone's happy hammers after the game. And yeah, we'll leave it there, mate. Just one thing left to say.
Come on, you are.